Hey, so we're here in North Seattle, and I'm going to take you on a little drive from Wallingford, the Fremont area by the University of Washington, down toward Capitol Hill, where we're going to go visit a listing. And I want you to just see some of the beautiful architecture that we have here, some of the changes that are happening to the area, what parking is like, sidewalks, all of that stuff, so that you can see what it's going to be like to live here in the Seattle area. I am a local real estate agent. My name is Emily Cressey, and I help people who are relocating here to Seattle to find the right homes. And I know a lot of times we see either homes on the MLS with professional photography that look beautiful, or we see maps that are from, a big distance, and we don't really get a sense for what the neighborhood is like, what the culture is like, going for a walk, what does that look like on the street. So I'm going to be driving you around and giving you a sense of what is going on here in the Seattle area so that you can feel like, if you're moving to the city, do you want to live in the city itself, or do you want to live farther out? This is a very good look at some nice areas in Seattle that are fairly expensive to live in, so you can see if the Seattle neighborhoods that we're visiting are right for you. And if not, that's fine. I'll let you know some other options of where you could visit that might be something else to take a look at. But if you love it, let me know. I'll get you inside some of these homes and we'll help you find the right property. So a gorgeous day here in Seattle. We're not far from the University Bridge. We're at Woodlawn and 40th. And these are some of my favorite neighborhoods. It's like the older Tudor brick home there. So the new modern home coming in. We're seeing a lot of change in these neighborhoods. We're kind of in the Wallingford area as new construction comes in. But then look, there's also the older 7-Eleven style thing. Dog treats here, apartment buildings. It can be eclectic. This is Wallingford Avenue. And it can be hard for the mom and pops to stay in business. There's a little tattoo parlor right there because a lot of people are just shopping online, right? So, but if we like our walkable communities, you can see we have sidewalks here, we have buses coming through, then we need to shop locally and utilize the businesses that we want to support. But that being said, this is $1 million plus neighborhood to be buying a home in. We're close to the University of Washington. We're fairly close to downtown Seattle, 40 blocks north. There's a church right there. My meditation group used to meet there at that church. And this is generally a well-regarded place to live. We're fairly close to North Lake Union, so you hear a lot about South Lake Union with all the Google people and things, but this is north of the lake near Gasworks Park, and you still do get some funny business coming through. We had a friend who lived out here who ultimately decided to move after one of her neighbors called her and said that there was some guy with a machete walking around, which made her feel uncomfortable because she had a child, like I said. But before that, they would play outside, go for walks, bike around. It is somewhat hilly, so not always the most desirable walking area, but definitely urban, definitely in the mix here. And there's Lake Union over there. So just trying to give you an idea of north of downtown Seattle, what it looks like from the street view. We have I-5 up ahead. We have the freeway traffic. The bottom lane is the express lanes. Those are the reversible lanes, so they go south into the city when it's the morning commute and people are going into work, and then they go all those new townhomes there. Look at that. Then they close them off, get everybody off the street, and direct traffic north out of the city when it's time to leave work. You can kind of get a sense for where we are on the map here. So south is over here, downtown Seattle. Bellevue is east, and then Linwood and Shoreline are north of us. And that big water in front of us is Lake Washington. We're heading toward the U District. Lake Washington. All that good stuff. This is the Burt Gilman Trail, I believe. We're close to it. I think it comes through here. Look at that skinny little building. It's like a spite house. It's very small. We get a lot of bikers coming through because of the Burt Gilman Trail and the University of Washington. There's a UW building. That white building is an applied physics lab. We're going over the University Bridge here. This is Eastlake Avenue. See the water. You can see that it's a drawbridge. Up ahead, we're going to go over this grated area. Grates. That's movable ground here. So that if they need to open it to let a big sailboat through, they can. And then it's really sunny today, which is a great problem to have. But it makes it a little bit harder for you guys to see some of these buildings around here. Okay, now we're almost under the freeway. Ironworks, this looks like an apartment. Eastlake. We're east of Lake Union. All of our clever naming strategies here. Okay, we're on Harvard Avenue East. We're heading south. This is I-5 next to us here, and we're heading toward Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill is east of downtown Seattle. You can start to see up ahead, there's the Seattle city skyline. So that's how far away we are. We're by Roanoke Park. This is Roanoke Street right here. You can see some of the cool homes. I mean, this whole area had some really cool older homes that got really close to the freeway when the freeway got put in the 1960s. But one of the things that people love is really the architecture and the construction around here in this area. There's the park right there. And then you could see sign for the Seattle Asian Art Museum coming up on the right. And we're going to be going over this bridge here. This is 10th Avenue. So here we are, we're on Capitol Hill. We're going up the hill. We're on 10th Avenue. And you can see the blinking lights for the schools. It's like 2:45 in the afternoon, beautiful sunny day. And this is just classic Seattle day right here. This is what we love. The beautiful fresh air, blue skies, sun is out, none of that rain that they tell you about. And a really fun day to be out driving. So we're on Capitol Hill. We're gonna go look at a listing, gonna preview a listing here. And just showing you the mix, right? There's new construction right here. There's older house right here. And this is one of the most desirable locations in Seattle due to its proximity to downtown. And it's got some great views. It's got some great history. And you can just tell, you know, some of these really cool older homes. So unlike in some areas where the homes get really run down and just used as rentals and kind of forgotten about, these homes are they're on pretty expensive land, so they tend to cost a lot of money to buy. And so if you have one, you usually take good care of it. And they do sell and they do turn over. And there are inspections happening when that happens. And so people tend to stay on top of them, and they can sell for, you know, over $1 million. So even though it is older, it's probably had that galvanized pipe that rusts after 50 to 80 years. That's probably been replaced. It's probably had that knob and tube wire from that 100-year-old electricity replaced over time. And so what these tend to do is just like you're living in a piece of history. You're getting the whole neighborhood, the whole aesthetic, just a lot of character in a way that you don't really have when you're buying a new cookie cutter home from a builder. So it's really fun, and you can sort of see through the trees there. There's the lake. That way is north, so that's probably Lake Union. I'm a little twisted around. We should have Lake Washington to the east of us. We'll look away from the sun, see if you can get some views. So we've seen a couple homes for sale. That brown shingle house is for sale. I do not like those shingles on the walls. Here's a cemetery here on the right, which creates a lot of green space, a lot of quietness. Here over here, Louisa Boren Park. Look at that view. Ooh la la. Passing Garfield Street, you can see on the map. Green space here with the cemetery. This is the new construction stuff. So if you like those townhomes, we got them going in everywhere, boy, everywhere. Lots of vertical construction going on. And so that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's really nice to have, like, this is a very unique stucco building. It looks like an older apartment building to me. But probably from like the 60s. But what we have a lot here, especially in Capitol Hill, is the older buildings that are from the early 1900s and even beyond. This is one of the areas that was founded by the city fathers, right, of Washington State. Washington was incorporated as a state in 1889. If I recall, there's some Seattle people here. So you just get a little bit more sense of history. Here's Volunteer Park. This is a big, very popular park in the area. On Sunday morning, I'll come here to meet with clients and see like strollers of people all migrating toward the park. So it's really nice to have these green spaces here, especially when you are, you know, in a pretty densely packed area. Not too many people are going to have big yards here. And so it's nice to have some green space, especially if you've got kids or dogs, to run around, stretch your legs, get some sun, breathe in some fresh air, and interact with your neighbors, right? There's another sign for the Seattle Asian Art Museum. Over there you see some plastic on the chimney. They're probably redoing the chimney. Let's see, that person's not going. Redoing the chimney here, redoing something with the brickwork. That is probably a little free library with the books that people give away. You know, read it and then you put it in there and then somebody else can pick it up for free. It's a nice idea. I've seen them in my neighborhood too. They're all over Seattle, but people tend to have sort of the same books that stick around, like the 1970s recipe book that nobody wants. But you can see people out on the streets. You can see the cool historic homes. Really interesting architecture there. That's a classic craftsman architecture with those columns. And then a huge church right here, St. Joseph. A huge, I believe, Catholic church. So even though we're very close to all the skyscrapers and everything, you just don't have the feeling of being under them here. They're kind of all across the freeway. There comes the bus. South Lake Union trolley also does come into this area, kind of First Hill, Cherry Hill area. Whoa. more of the modern skyscraper stuff here. Then older, lower rise stuff over here on the left. Getting an idea for some of the shops. Rocket Taco, pizza, a lot of bars and clubs in this area. So a lot of people on Capitol Hill, one of the things that draws them to this area is the nightlife and being able to go out walking and have some place to go, meeting people, talking to people, being friendly with neighbors. It's much less of a car dependent area than a lot of places in Seattle. So between the buses and the walkable shops, it just makes things very pleasant and accessible. Okay, we're on 19th and we're about to cross East Thomas Street. Okay, we're on Capitol Hill, crossing East Thomas Street. And you can see the radio towers there. Sometimes you'll see those at night. They have blinking lights or see them from a distance. So that can be good. Like it's a thing that you can identify with. We are going south. More new construction again. We're called Southeast. We're in the central district now. More new construction over here. This is the Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center on the right. It's Mount Zion Baptist Church on the left. For the most part, drivers here are pretty chill, like there's not a lot of honking. If I see someone with dogs trying to cross the street, I'm gonna let them go across. I like to yield to people, and if you're supposed to yield to them. You can see the mix of old and new, everything going in. So one of the changes that Washington State made in the last couple of years was everything that was zoned single family is now automatically zoned up to 4 family. So you could have a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex on any lot that was zoned for just single-family homes. So there are no exclusively single-family home zoned areas allowed anymore. Now, there are other constraints, like you have to have a certain setback from the property line. There are height requirements as far as how tall you can be. There are permeability things, like we need the water to be able to soak into the ground. So there are still other factors that might make it impractical to have a duplex somewhere, but for the most part they're trying to go higher density and look for what they call middle housing, which is this difference between a high-rise apartment building and a single-family house. So what are some of our other options? It could be a duplex, it could be something with a mother-in-law, it could be like a mother-in-law suite. It could be a loft over a barn. It could be having an accessory dwelling unit or a detached accessory dwelling unit, which is oftentimes abbreviated ADU or DADU. And the city of Seattle has actually started publishing plans for those types of things to be built. So having a little building in your backyard. Now, they're not cheap to build, so what we're seeing is that if we do find a single family house with a large yard, then we're having a little building in the back that's maybe like a 2-bedroom, 800 to 1,000 square foot building going in, and those are being sold separately as condominiums. They might be able to change the zoning at some point, so it doesn't have to be considered a condominium, but right now that's how they're doing it. And essentially, it doesn't act like a condominium association. It just has to be one for legal purposes. And so they have those big houses with a condo in the back, and the condo in the back, that's like a 2-bedroom freestanding single-family house, could easily sell for $800,000. I have one that I'm trying to get listed for $600,000. That's a 1-bedroom. That's a little farther north. But yeah, looking at those opportunities is something that you'll see. And also look how densely these houses are right now. So sometimes the house is so tight on the lot that there's not going to be room to build anything in the back. But I guess the point is that you're allowed to. All right, so I'm going to go check out this house now. Okay, we're leaving the Capitol Hill house. We're right here by Swedish Medical Center, which is the hospital. And then you can see the view of downtown Seattle. So it's actually up a hill, down a hill, and down another hill to the water. So this is on the Capitol Hill side of the freeway that we're starting to see some of these taller homes go in, you know, more townhomes coming in here. There's Seattle University. Okay, here we are by Seattle University area. We're on Cherry Street. We're still by coming down from Capitol Hill. There's the Seattle University Park. You can see some of their red banners there by the side. We're going up, up, up. Right into the sun. Close your eyes, it's too sunny. Okay, so we're on the hill that's commonly known as Pill Hill, Capitol Hill area. There's Swedish over there. There's Harbor View to our left down here. And Virginia Mason's around here somewhere too. So if you are a doctor in downtown Seattle, or a nurse, or anyone in the medical field, you might find a lot of employment opportunities right here. And so it's good to know what this area is like, what the traffic here is like. I feel like I've been stuck here for a little bit. And we're also very close to downtown Seattle. You can see up ahead below that giant sunball, the Smith Tower, which is one of our old areas, like a historic building in downtown Seattle. And it's called Pill Hill up here, not because of illegal drugs, but because of the hospitals and just pushing of regular pills. So you can see a little bit here on the map. Neurological surgery clinic at Harbor View is on the left. So even though we're not seeing necessarily all one uniform large building, you can see the pillar right there. There it is, pointing out that that's Harbor View. We do have a lot of housing in this area, especially a lot of condos. A lot of the condos and housing may not come with a car parking spot. So if you want a car, make sure that that's included. And then think about where you're going to be traveling. Some people use Zipcar and other like car rental options. Thank you, Cybertruck, letting me in. So there's that possibility as well. And here's where you get on I-5. You can see the water up ahead. We're looking west. That is Puget Sound. That's our salt water that's connected to the ocean. And you can see right here, that's I-5 is the main interstate freeway, so you can get on north and south. Some huge apartment buildings right here. We are like looking right at the freeway right there. We have people at the bus stop. We have a big church, Trinity Parish Church, Episcopal. Seems more like Trinity Episcopal Parish Church, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's Trinity Parish Church, and it happens to be Episcopal, but that's not part of the name. I hear an ambulance. So Harbor View is our major, like if there's a really bad emergency, they usually take them to Harbor View. It's like the trauma center, I think is what it's called. And they have a lot of people that get medevaced there on the helicopter landing on the roof and that type of thing. And then we also have a lot of psychiatric patients there. There's a big psych ward. So if people are coming in with problems from homelessness and drug use and that type of a thing, then they're probably going to be going there as well. So thanks so much for joining me here on my drive toward the Capitol Hill area. I'm going to go look at this house and I'm going to end the video here, but I just wanted to thank you for joining me and also remind you, if you are looking for a house in Seattle but you're not sure what neighborhood is right for you, let me know directly. I mean, this channel is great. Doing the research on your own is great, and not everyone wants to talk to a salesperson, which I totally get. And in fact, my husband is an IT guy and he doesn't like salespeople either. And I was like, hey, what about me? So I try to come at things from a very educational and consultative way. I'm not here to like strong arm you or twist your arm into doing anything you don't want to do. So feel free to use me as a resource. We can always have a conversation and see what your options are, what your values are, and I'll try to get you pointed in the right direction so you can have a productive home search as you're just in the preliminary stages of even deciding if you want to live in Seattle. Maybe you want to live in Bellevue or Tacoma or Everett, or maybe you're not going to move here at all, but you're just thinking about it. So whatever the case might be, hit me up. You can email or text me with the contact info on the screen or down in the notes. And I appreciate your watching. Remember to subscribe. I do a lot of different neighborhood tours, pros and cons, trying to give you my experience as someone who's lived here for my whole life and is a realtor here, what you need to be looking out for. So I'll talk with you soon, and I'll see you on the next video.